Hi, my name is David Riley, and in just a moment I'm going to show you how a 56-year-old man who had been on blood pressure meds for 12 years, was regularly in a state of hypertensive crisis, had suffered 3 separate transient ischemic attacks, and whose own doctor warned him was just days away from a stroke, stunned the world of medical science by lowering his systolic blood pressure by 105 points and his diastolic blood pressure by 72 points in the space of just 17 days, transforming his health and adding years to his lifespan in the process. And the most amazing thing is, he achieved this remarkable turnaround using a 100% natural and completely safe homemade protocol, which required no medication of any kind. But what might shock you even more is that in just a few seconds from now, you're going to discover that despite what your doctors have been telling you, you don't actually need any medication to control your blood pressure at all, and never did. And you're probably going to become extremely angry once I tell you that the solution I'm about to reveal, which has been based on a world-renowned study into hypertension which has been published in countless peer-reviewed medical journals all over the world, has been deliberately suppressed by greedy and immoral pharmaceutical companies, who make billions from blood pressure meds like ACE inhibitors, angiotensin receptor blockers, calcium channel blockers, beta blockers, and more. And because of this, big pharma are doing everything in their power to keep the solution hidden from the very people who need it most. So, I urge you to keep watching, because as I speak, Big Pharma are trying to force me to take down this presentation, because they do not want you to find out that there is a simple and 100% natural way for you to quickly and dramatically lower your blood pressure and transform your health in a matter of days, so that you never need their blood pressure meds ever again. This simple and easy-to-follow method is based on a bizarre treatment method developed by a cardiologist and hypertension specialist who spent years studying a small and isolated tribe living in the depths of the Amazonian rainforest. And it has already been used to help 23,867 people of all ages to lower their blood pressure quickly, easily, and safely. Plus, what's even more amazing is that despite the incredible results that this method has achieved, it can be put into practice from the comfort of your own home, without the need for any medication of any kind, without the risk of any side effects, and without having to see any more doctors at all. So be sure to keep watching, because whether you've been suffering for 1 week or 10 years, are 30 or 90 years old, have mild or chronic hypertension, or are suffering from moderate to severe side effects because of your meds, I'm going to show you a fast, simple, and proven way for you to dramatically lower your blood pressure, transform your overall health and well-being, and potentially add years or even decades to your life. And you can do it in just 17 days. So put any plans you have on hold for just a few minutes and get comfortable, because it's absolutely crucial to your current and future health that you watch every single second of this controversial presentation, because it could save your life. Hi, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, my name is David Riley, and the 56-year-old man I told you about earlier, who was able to dramatically lower his blood pressure and transform his long-term health in just 17 days, and with no medication in sight, was me. And I'm going to reveal exactly how I did it in just a second. But before I do, I just want to say that I completely understand if you're feeling a little bit skeptical right now. After all, what I am telling you today pretty much flies in the face of everything you've previously been told by doctors, specialists, and the medical establishment in general. In fact, if I were watching this video just 6 months ago, before I'd been able to experience this life-changing treatment for myself, I would have been skeptical too. To be honest, I wouldn't have believed it at all. Because like millions of my fellow Americans, I've been effectively brainwashed into thinking that medication was the best way to achieve a fast and permanent improvement in my blood pressure levels. But thankfully, I had an open mind. I put this treatment to the test, and it worked better than I could have ever imagined. But don't just take my word for it, because it has worked for a whopping 23,867 other people too. People like Gail Stevens and her husband Brian from Flint, Michigan, who wrote in to say this: "Hi David, when I read your story I realized just how similar it was to my husband's condition. He had uncontrolled blood pressure for years, and the doctors kept doing the same tests over and over, and when they couldn't figure out what to do, they just gave him more medication. He also had 2 stents put in, and his carotid artery on the right cleaned out. Despite the medication he was on, he never felt well and eventually had a TIA, which terrified me. The doctors didn't seem to have any idea what to do other than to double or even triple his meds. After discovering your program, his BP came down from 200/140 to 130/80 in just 3 weeks. The difference in his health and general well-being has been phenomenal. Thank you so much." And then there's Mariela Dominguez from Mitchell, South Dakota, who said, After being diagnosed with high blood pressure in 2010, my life has been one big worry. I discovered that I was allergic to all ACE inhibitors after a series of severe reactions. Despite going from drug to drug, nothing seemed to work. I would often feel dizzy and would pass out. I'd also feel a numbness in my limbs. All the doctors ever did was give me a different drug. They didn't seem to even consider any other options. Luckily, my brother found your website, and the change since has been incredible. My blood pressure went from 190/140 to 125/80 in just 15 days, and my health improved so much. Everyone who suffers from HBP deserves to know about this. And Joan Thomas from Jefferson City, Missouri wrote in to tell me this. I used to be fit, strong, energetic. I absolutely loved life. I'd never really been ill. But after being diagnosed with high blood pressure, everything changed. I was prescribed 8 different medications within the first 3 months, and all I could hear was everyone shouting, "Stroke." Although the docs kept pushing me to take the meds, I was falling apart. I was constantly fatigued and weak. My muscles wasted away, and I went deaf in my left ear. Eventually, I blacked out while shopping and woke up in the ambulance. I promised myself I would find another way to treat my blood pressure. And fortunately for me, I found David's website. Since then, my blood pressure has dropped significantly and my health has improved immeasurably. I'm so happy now, and I am returning to my former self. But I'm still bitter and angry about the medical profession's obsession with drugs and the fact that they constantly ignore natural treatments that are proven to work. David, thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking on Big Pharma and